them lead. You don't, try and lead here. It's a bit rude. It's inappropriate. They're my prayers for starting the talk. So who are you to lead this, So you can quietly follow, but not take over the whole atmosphere, okay? Yeah, you boys are all pretty young in Krishna consciousness, so somebody has to tell you these things, Okay, so welcome back everybody. Our topic for the morning is the chanting of the holy name. So, yes, the chanting in japa, in kirtan, is actually a very deep science and secret. And very often we take this very lightly and cheaply. And we just have this mood of somehow finishing these rounds. Actually, we can say our joy often comes from finishing the rounds, right? Rather than from actually chanting. So this is, of course, not the right mood and attitude we want to have in the chanting, So let us first of all remember, Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, he extends himself into the material world by giving us his holy name. Yes, this is actually quite amazing, because without that, what chance would we have to actually connect with Krishna and re-establish this lost and forgotten relationship? So, and we probably have heard this many times, that Krishna and his holy name are non-different. We hear these things so many times, but to actually realize them is a whole different thing. Not so easy to actually realize. But it basically means that just by chanting, we can get the same benefit as meeting Krishna face to face. That's what it means. That actually the chanting should be my time with Krishna. Yes. So, yeah, it's a very special thing, but unfortunately, we very easily lose that vision. And especially our japa chanting just becomes like some dry routine, some mechanical thing that we somehow have to get done, right? So, and actually, of course, from such kind of chanting, we cannot really benefit that much. We can even imagine, we invite our guru to our home, and then when he appears on the doorstep, we turn our back to him, we ignore him, we don't give him that attention. We have more important and interesting things to do. So then we cannot even call this associating with guru, right? Because we receive him in a very inappropriate way. So, and we may even get some reactions for not receiving him with the right attitude and attentiveness and respect and. So, and a similar thing is there also in chanting. So, yeah, very easily we are not receiving Krishna the way we should be when we call upon him by chanting. And also let us remember, it is a very common thing that activities which we do very regularly, very easily they become mechanical and we become over-familiar. We actually forget what we are really doing. Right? This can also happen, for example, when we do the puja every morning on the altar, especially, when we're bathing every day. I don't think you do.
We do every day.
Huh?
We do every day.
You do? Okay. What, Brahmin initiated devotees bathe?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if we do this every day, then very easily it can become mechanical. And we just go through the motions without actually remembering what we are doing, that we are personally serving the Lord and bathing him and dressing him and. So, and in chanting, this also easily happens. That because hopefully it's an activity we do every day, that it becomes mechanical and we become over-familiar. Meaning we take it lightly and cheaply, we lose respect for what we are doing, and and then we commit offenses. So this over-familiarity is also there in relationships and marriage, for example, husband-wife, because they're seeing each other every day and becoming close, then very easily we lose respect for each other. We take each other lightly and cheaply and we commit offenses. So this also takes place in our chanting. Usually when we start chanting japa, when we chant the first time, then we are very attentive and okay, let me try this, and but then as we do this every day for so many years, we lose that respect and awe and reverence and so on. Yes. And also, as we know, there's 10 offenses to chanting the holy name. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there's also an 11th offense, right? Which is? Yes, to be inattentive while chanting. So, and this inattentiveness is considered to be the root cause of all other offenses. So, even in my 3-day holy name retreats, I like to explore what this actually means, this inattentiveness. It's a deep topic, you can talk 3 days about it. So yes, this inattentiveness takes place on 3 levels. On the level of the body, on the level of the mind, and what's the 3rd level? Not intelligence. On the level of body, mind, and heart, finally. This just shows how disconnected we are from the heart level, that it takes us quite a while to actually come up with that answer, Yeah. Body, mind, and heart. So, and actually, the whole process of bhakti is meant to transform the heart, right? But the heart heart will only be transformed if the heart is involved in that activity. Yeah. So these three levels of attentiveness we will find in all activities, in all services we do, not only in chanting. That we have to be attentive on the level of the body, on the level of the mind, on the level of the heart. Only then our service will transform the heart. Even, for example, hearing, we have to be attentive on the level of the body, meaning we should not do anything else while hearing. Right? Then on the level of the mind, we should focus the mind. We should not allow the mind to wander and think of so many things. And on the level of the heart, what does it mean to be attentive on the level of the heart in connection with hearing? What does it mean practically? How we are meant to hear, in what mood? No suggestions?
Connecting with the speaker. Trying to connect with the speaker with the heart.
Try to connect with the speaker. Yes, but more precisely, what does it mean to be attentive on the level of the heart
Being
in
humble.
connection with hearing?
Humble.
Faith.
Humble. Yes, humility has to be there. No, there has to be some eagerness, some greed, right? Rupa Goswami tells us, loyam, greed for Krishna, that's the only thing we need to have. So also in the hearing, if we hear with indifference, that, oh, okay, let us sit here, I should be here, but there's indifference there, then the words will just go in one ear, out the other ear. It will bypass the heart. But if there's an intense eagerness, inquisitiveness, we want to capture something here in order to increase our bhakti. If we hear with that attitude, then the heart is involved, and then that hearing will transform the heart. Right? Yes. Or even, let's say, we are cleaning the floor. So also we have to be attentive on the level of the body, on the level of the mind, on the level of the heart. So what does it mean to clean the floor with attentiveness on the level of the heart? What does that mean? No. What does it mean? How do we sweep and clean the floor if we want to be attentive on the level of the heart? What does it mean?
We got the opportunity to do something.
With what mood should we clean the floor in order for the heart to be involved?
Servant of devotees.
So lofty. How do you clean the floor with surrender to the devotees? No, let's be more practical,
Cleaning it for Krishna.
More concrete. See, that's how difficult it is to actually practically apply what our philosophy is. You can't even tell how do we clean the floor with the heart being involved. No suggestion? Well, attentive, we said, on the level of the body, on the level of the mind. So what does it mean that the heart is involved when we clean the floor?
I'm absorbed in cleaning.
We want to do it as best as we can. We want to give our heart and soul in the service, wanting to do it really nicely, right? Then the heart is involved. You want to do it nicely to please the devotees. And Krishna, of course, too, but Krishna is only pleased if we please the devotees, right? So that's how we serve, with the heart being involved, that we give our very best. So now let's go to the chanting. Chanting and being, let us say being inattentive on the level of the body. What does that mean? Sleeping, well, that is really inattentiveness, my God, that's miserable life, falling asleep. What else?
Thinking about something else.
No, on the level of the body.
Talking.
Chanting while doing so many things. The list is long. A very common one is being on the mobile, right? Yes. Let me get my beads to show you. You know, we may say, oh, well, this is Mahaprabhu's arrangement for Kali Yuga, that we have this finger here, you know, and we can scroll up and down and write a few messages, and oh, I see it all the time, people being on the phone, you know, while they're chanting, you know, yes. Or we talk while chanting, two people meet, both have their hand in the bead bag. While you chant, the other person says something, then he answers, and you squeeze a few mantras in. And, you know, if the answer is long, or you can get rid of quite a number of mantras, but if the answer is short, oh, what a shame, only one mantra. So like that, it goes back and forwards, right? And, you know, I mean, the list is long. Chanting while watching some video, or even chanting while listening in the class, you know. Behind it is this mood of maximizing our time. That, oh, I want to be in the class, but oh, I have still these rounds left. So, all right, so let me sit in the back and chant quietly while I'm in the class. So, like that, I can maximize my time. You know? Yeah, that's basically the mood in being inattentive on the level of the body, doing something else while chanting. Right? And I mean, we could say, well, but didn't Prabhupada say we should chant 24 hours a day while doing so many things? So what's the answer to that? Well, of course we can chant while cooking, washing the pots, this and that. But that is extra chanting. No need to even count it. No need. But our prescribed number of rounds, no matter how many it will be, they should be chanted with undivided attention, not doing anything else. Right? Yes. Who of you sometimes is chanting on the counter, on this little counter machines? Anybody is sometimes using a counter? Yes. Actually, chanting on the counter is the safest way to cultivate inattentive chanting. So after this session, please throw it out in the garbage. They should not even be distributed in our temple shops, these counters. If we can't chant on the beads, it's the wrong time to chant, you know. Because with these counters, you don't even have to finish one round. You can click a bit here and there with the left hand, right hand. I mean, it's complete nonsense, actually. I know one initiating guru, I won't mention his name, but he calls the chanting on the counter demoniac. Yes. So it's ridiculous, actually. Yes. We cultivate very bad chanting habits like that, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, we could say so many more things about inattentiveness on the level of the body. Oh yeah, there's another mood we have, you know, the mood of passing this boring japa time in a more entertaining way and pleasing way, you know. That we go for nice walks in the forest and fields and we look at this and that and the birds and the bees. You know, because just sitting chanting so boring. So why not go for an entertaining walk and look at this and that? You know, or sometimes people just look on the phone or computer at all different darshans. The morning darshan in Mayapur, in Vrindavan, in New York, and this and that. You know. So of course, if we have one picture and we in a prayerful mood, we address the Lord, that's a different thing. But if we are just entertaining ourselves by looking at all different pictures, then it's inattentive chanting. So it's a very subtle thing, you know. Yeah. So inattentiveness on the level of the mind. It basically means we use the japa time for a plan making session, making plans, the shopping list, and the next preaching program, and the yatra to Mayapur, and this and that, and this and that. We plan so many things, you know, because we'll have discussions later if you don't mind. Let me first present a few things. Yeah, so one of the functions of the mind is to make plans, you know, and so we like to use the japa time to make plans, which is also inattentive chanting. Or sometimes, you know, all kinds of dialogues and monologues and issues go around in circles in our mind while we chant. So this is also actually, when these things go in circles, I think I mentioned it the other day, it's always a sure sign that the false ego tortures us. Yes, that the false ego pushes us and has us in its grip. Yes. So, and then the inattentiveness on the level of the heart. Well, Prabhupada gave us a little analogy. What did he say? How we are meant to chant? I'm sure you must have heard this. Like a child crying for his mother, in helplessness, in desperation. Yes. But are we chanting like this? No, we are not. You know? So why don't we chant in helplessness and desperation? Yes, this time you're right. You have the lucky hit. The false ego makes us think that we are really cool and we've got it all under control and life is not so bad and yes, I'm getting somewhere here in my life. So then where is the helplessness? Yeah. Actually, there is one very powerful purport in the Bhagavatam. Where Prabhupada says, a helpless person can feelingly utter the holy name, but a person in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. Yes. So, you know, material satisfaction is actually dangerous for developing pure bhakti, because material satisfaction means my life is going fine. So how can we feel helpless? If we are situated in great material satisfaction. Material satisfaction brings complacency, yes, and also indifference, and yes. So but aren't we all striving for material satisfaction? I think if we're a little honest, we have to admit that yes, we do. But that is not so helpful for our spiritual life, And when I travel the world, I can see this very clearly, that in those countries where the standard of life is higher, there's more material satisfaction there, proportionally the interest in bhakti goes down. But in countries where people are more poor, where people live more simple, like in Eastern Europe, the standard of life is not so high, immediately you can see so many more serious devotees are there. Yeah. So this material satisfaction, not so good. Actually, many temples in America, they mainly have Indian-bodied devotees, So there's a few places, Baltimore, for example. Gopal Krishna Maharaj was also very prominent there. And one devotee was telling me that once Maharaj said to the people, to the devotees there, you are all in too much comfort. That's why you can't change sincerely. You have too much comfort in your lives. Because let's be honest, this is why many Indian people leave India. Because they want some more comfort, some more economic development. And because Indian birth is a more pious birth, Indian people, as a rule, they're those who go to the West, they're good in making money, IT experts, business, this and that. So, I've seen in America, people buy these huge castles for themselves. I was once staying with one Indian family, they had 8 bathrooms in their house. My God, Oh. Yes. A whole big castle, And of course, to pay that off, husband and wife have to work like asses, and then people are surprised, not much time for bhakti, and my God, Anyway, but yes, I was a little shy to make such statements that you devotees have too much comfort in your life. But then one devotee told me that Maharaj said that, and I thought, oh joy, finally somebody is telling them. So this economic development, economic material advancement, not so good for spiritual life, because it's more difficult to cry out in helplessness. And Prabhupada, in the same purport, he goes so far to say, therefore, the 4 principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education. Did you hear this? High education and bodily beauty. They are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress in devotional life. So you are all striving here for higher education, PhD, professor, this, that. So you better watch out. Yes, this may not be helpful for your bhakti, which doesn't mean you should stop your studies now. It doesn't mean that. But why is it, so to speak, a disqualification? What are these things doing?
We boost false ego.
You know now that false ego is my favorite topic. So you think whenever we say false ego, she will be happy. Yes, no, but it's true. Because as soon as we have some little opulence, then immediately we become puffed up. And we think, oh, I'm so wealthy, look at my big house. That's all, mine. And oh yes, I'm PhD professor, look at me, I'm so intelligent. I know it all better than everybody else. Yeah? And beauty, yes, look at me, so beautiful. And aristocratic family, oh yes, I come from that caste and that family line. Oh my God, So that's the problem, that even though we have some opulences, we forget that actually Krishna is the source of all opulences. He gives it to us, and he can take it at any time away, overnight. We may have some accident, some this, that, whatever, and boom, it's all gone. And sometimes Krishna does that, just to remind us, that our opulences, we are just borrowing them from Krishna, so we have something to offer to him. Yeah, so you better remember this, that higher education can be an obstacle. Even high devotional education. I see it so many times when people do all these studies, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, then it gets all to their head and they think they are Guruji here or something. And then your whole cultivation of Bhakti can be spoiled just because of this pride. Yeah, so we have to be very careful. Very careful. As I'm saying, no need to stop your studies, but be careful that you don't become proud, thinking yourself to be better than everybody else around, and so on. Yeah, very, very common trap that devotees fall into. Yes. So now, interestingly, when we look at the child crying out in helplessness for his mother, in desperation. The child does not have the problem of a wandering mind, right? Yes. Child doesn't say, oh, strangely enough, whenever I cry for my mother, I'm thinking of so many things, with whom to play and what to play and where to play. No, child does not have that problem, right? Because in the child's mind, there is no room for any other thought except, where is my mother? I need her right now. Yes. So, and that gives us the answer to the wandering mind, right? It means we have to try and involve the heart. We have to try and scratch some sincere feeling, calling out to Krishna. That's the answer, the solution to the wandering mind. Sometimes when we hear the question, oh, what to do when the mind wanders, we get the answer, well, pull it back and hear. We give attention to the Maha Mantra through the ear, so pull it back and hear, which is okay, it's a good start, but it's not everything. Pull it back and hear and involve the heart. Because if we leave it only at that we pull back the mind and hear, then after 1-2 mantras, the mind wanders again, and we pull it back and hear, and the mind wanders again, and we pull it back and hear. So then very easily we end up in a boxing match with the mind. That's not going to take us anywhere. We have to involve the heart. We have to feelingly try and address Krishna. That will be the solution, because as we said, the chanting is meant to transform the heart, so the heart has to be involved. Sometimes also we hear the question, so what do we do if we can't cry for Krishna? Well, then we can say, then cry about that you can't cry for Krishna. Even Mahaprabhu in the Shikshastakam, he laments, I have no attraction to the holy name, right? Yeah, so we can lament and cry that we can't cry, but somehow we have to start crying. And that crying, of course, is internally in the heart. We are not recommending to, make a whole show here, look, I'm crying, or that, This is sahajya, no need. Yeah. Then we just try to cheaply get some recognition. Oh, you must be a very advanced devotee. No, they don't want that. Yes, so I actually would like to do a little japa exercise with you now. So even if you didn't bring your beads, no problem. Don't run back to your room and get the beads. No problem. We can chant with beads, we can chant without beads. So just let me explain first the exercise. Because if you all, I should wear my beads, give me my beads, then you will not listen. Okay? Yes. So we want to chant one round in our own speed and rhythm, not this unified chanting. I don't really like this so much, because everybody's got their own speed, their own rhythm. Like I'm a very slow chanter. I need 10 minutes for one round. When I started chanting, I chanted faster, but yeah, the more I actually really try and concentrate and put some feeling in my chanting, then it goes a little slower. And we're not machine gun wise, we rattle down the round. But no. So yeah, the longer I'm chanting, the more I need 10 minutes and not 6 or 7. So you may be finishing your round before me, but I hope you will also give me a chance to finish my round. So we want to chant one round and really try and do this, that deep in the heart we want to mindfully turn to Krishna, feelingly call out to him, Krishna, I know you are there, please accept me. We want to try and fill our heart with longing for the relationship. I need this relationship, I want this relationship. Trying to connect with Krishna when we chant, because that's what chanting is all about. We are meant to connect with the Lord, right? And kirtan, by the way, also. Okay, so let us try this. And if we close our eyes, then we are less distracted, because the sense of vision is distracting us the most. Oh, look at this, and. So when we close our eyes, we are less distracted, we can concentrate more on the sound vibration, right? Often we do this automatically also in the time that we close our eyes. So, and yeah, it's helpful to close the eyes, Okay, so shall we try that? And if you don't have your beads, you can either count on your fingers, or if you don't know how to do that, you just chant. It's all right. We let you know when the round is over. Okay? All right. Mataji Guru Premanande. So, how did you go? Did you think it was easy? No. I'm glad you say no. If you would say yes, I would say, well, what are you doing in the material world then? I would say, yes. No, it's not easy at all. Even sitting here in our little holy name session, what to speak of wandering around, shopping, this, that, no, not easy at all. Because we have been in forgetfulness of Krishna for so many lifetimes. We have been ignoring him. So just by joining ISKCON and being initiated and having tilak and neckbeads does not mean we have made this paradigm shift there in the heart. It's a deep internal thing. Often we take Krishna consciousness as a very external thing, that we just externally go through the motions, but we can completely ignore Krishna in our so-called Krishna consciousness. We can cut Krishna out of the picture. It's happening, that people are so busy, so many services, so many projects, so many ambitions and plans and. But hey, what am I doing for my relationship with Krishna? Am I doing anything for that? So that's what we do when we chant. That's when we build this relationship with Krishna. But only if we mindfully turn to Krishna and feelingly appeal to him. Only that kind of chanting will establish our relationship with Krishna. Yes. Good to know, we can waste so many years and lifetimes in so-called Krishna consciousness. But if we don't turn to Krishna when we change, useless, actually. On the absolute platform of re-establishing our relationship with Krishna, useless. Yes. I'm sure you have all heard of His Holiness Satchinandan Swami, right? Anybody of you met him personally? Nobody? You, okay. Yeah, so he gives also very nice holy name retreats. And he calls this kind of chanting, where we don't mindfully turn to Krishna and feelingly call out to him, he calls this empty medicine capsule. Empty capsule. Not tablet, capsule. So, capsule you can open, of course a vegetarian capsule without gelatin. So you can open it and usually there's some medicine inside. But there's also such a thing as an empty capsule. You open it and oops, nothing inside. Therefore no effect. But from outside it looks like the real thing. Yeah. And that's what he calls this kind of chanting, where we don't mindfully turn to Krishna and feelingly call out to him. He calls that empty capsule. Yes. It may look like the real thing and we may think, oh yes, I'm chanting 16 rounds, but maybe it's all empty capsules. Yes, very easily this happens. I mean, even when I think back of my own spiritual life, so I've been practicing for 40 years now. But the first 20 years, probably I took empty capsules because nobody even explained me these things. 40 years ago, people did not talk about these things. It takes some time until a whole worldwide movement actually gets to higher levels. So 40 years ago, that awareness was not there. People were simply asking, how many rounds you trained? How many? Oh, 16 for how long? Okay, get initiated. You know? But nobody asks. So what kind of capsules are you taking? Empty ones, full ones, you know? Nobody looks at the quality. Everybody just looks at the quantity. You know, the externals. In Kali Yuga, we all go for the externals. But the internals we neglect. You know? Yeah, so probably for the first 20 years I was also taking empty capsules. And I mean, that's why I like to conduct these holy name retreats. If any of you wants to get a deeper experience in regards to chanting, then come to Mayapur on the 20th of December. And 21st early morning, I take a whole busload full of devotees to Eka Chakra. We stay there for 4 nights. And this will give you a deeper understanding. And I had this experience, I think I mentioned it already. I often have Prabhupada disciples on these retreats. Often they just want to spend 4 days in Eka Chakra, and that's how I capture them. You know, the Eka Chakra makes it very attractive. And then people say, oh yeah, 4 days Eka Chakra, I'm going to do that. And then, okay, let me check out what she's doing there in this retreat. Oh, okay, so there's quite a bit of interesting stuff there. And then they take part in the retreat. Many of them have shared. Oh, I realize, empty capsules for 45 years. I haven't been chanting the holy name. I've been doing something else. Because see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinam Chintamani, he says that the chanting without turning to Krishna is not the real thing. It's the reflection, the shadow of the holy name. So, I mean, soon you will have some breakfast. Just imagine I give you a reflection of a plate of prasadam. So will this be very satisfying? No, it won't, because it's not the real thing, you know, it's just some shadow thing there, you know. Yeah, so that's what our chanting can be. And it's very logical and natural and simple that to develop any relationship, even in our daily life, the first step is to be mindful of the person's presence, right? Yes. If we are not even conscious that there is a person there next to us, you know, then we can just live past each other and no deeper relationship will develop, you know. So step number 1 is that we turn to the person, or there is a person there with some needs and desires, and I'm meant to interact with that person. So without that mindfulness of the other person's presence, no relationship will develop, you know. And I mean, yeah, talking about impersonalism, we can see how the social media really makes our relationships impersonal, you know, even in families. In the evenings, everybody sits in their corners chatting around with people all over the planet. They don't even talk to each other anymore. You know? Yes. But in former times, before there was internet, people were interacting in the evenings. They were reading together. They were sharing, you know, the experiences of the day and, you know? But now everybody sits in their corners and is just with a phone there. You know, yeah. I know couples where the wife has to send him an email or WhatsApp message when she wants his attention, you know. He sits in the next room, but he's so glued to the, you know, computer, social media, just to get his attention, she has to send him a message. You know, I mean, it's very sad, you know, as our relationships become very impersonal through all this modern technology, you know. Yes, and obviously, if we really spend every day whatever time we spend to chant. And we actually just try, just make that endeavor to mindfully turn to Krishna and call out to Him. Even if we don't manage to do it for all our prescribed rounds, but at least we endeavor, then surely something will happen in our relationship with Krishna, right? It's logical. Our relationship with Krishna will become more tangible reality. Krishna will respond. He will reveal Himself more to us. If we just try. And same thing is there in Kirtan also. What makes a good kirtan, is not the musical expertise and the beautiful voice but no, it's whether the kirtan leader connects with Krishna, helplessly calling out when he chants. That's what makes a kirtan a good kirtan. Yeah. An empty capsule is also there in kirtan, When the kirtan leader is not connecting, he's just busy leading with the voice and this and that and the tunes and the audience, what is everybody thinking of me and. So he's not turning to Krishna, mindfully calling out to Him. Empty capsule will not satisfy the soul. We're not connecting. Simply nice music at the most, but not more than that. You can't even call it kirtan, actually, because we are not connecting with Krishna. And the empty capsule easily fills with poison. There's also a poisonous capsule available. So, what's the poison? Who can explain? Who can understand? What's the poison?
Offenses.
Huh?
Offenses.
Oh, that's too general. So, be more specific. What do we do?
Distractions.
Huh?
Distractions.
No, that's empty capsule. And how does the empty capsule fill with poison?
Wrong attitude and wrong feelings.
So what be more specific? What attitude do we allow to enter?
Expecting something in return.
Too broad in general.
Trying to be in the center.
Now we are getting there. False ego. Using the holy name to show off. That's the poisonous capsule, especially in kirtan. Again, very simple. Because the empty capsule doesn't give satisfaction, doesn't give joy. So then we think, oh, where's the bliss? Where's the joy? Okay, maybe if I show off, and bring attention to myself, and oh, what a good kirtaniya I am, and oh, listen to my voice, and maybe I get some bliss there. So that's the poisonous capsule. And in japa also. What's the poisonous capsule in japa? Huh?
Trying to please the others by showing off that we are doing that.
Not please the others, we try to satisfy our false ego by showing off. The others are not pleased by that. Using the holy name to show off. Oh, Ekadashi, of course I chant 64 rounds. Oh, here I picture on Facebook me chanting 64 rounds with a Radha Kuntilak and this, that, and that. Trying to pose as a very advanced devotee. You know? Yeah, so, and yeah, poisonous caps and kirtan, this is massively going on, you know, and people don't even identify it. They think, yes, I'm chanting, I'm just trying to inspire people, and you know, they don't realize how much they're feeding and boosting their own false egos there, and use the holy name for that, to show off, you know. So that contaminates the whole atmosphere. Even though the holy name is pure, but we put our poisonous layer on top of the holy name, and that contaminates everything. Last question. What's more important, japa or kirtan? Yeah. Well, let's understand the difference. So japa, most devotees find japa more austere. It's more internal work. We have to build that connection personally in our heart with Krishna. Right? Actually, chanting japa is hard work every day, you know, if we take it seriously. So in kirtan is more the focus on spreading and together, congregational chanting. So japa, good japa, sets the foundation to powerful kirtan. In other words, as we build our relationship in japa, then we will also be able to connect more easily in kirtan, right? Because kirtan offers so many distractions. There's the melody, the rhythm, the instruments, the audience, and you know, that they are all distractions, distracting us from connecting with Krishna. So the more our relationship is a little bit more established in japa, then it will be easier for us to really feelingly call out to Krishna in kirtan. So now my question to you, what sets the foundation to japa as part of our sadhana? Exactly. Reading and hearing. Reading Prabhupada's books, especially Bhagavatam. You know, because when we read Prabhupada's books, that establishes that sambandha gyan, that knowledge. Who am I? Who is Krishna? What is the whole material world all about? So the more the sambandha gyan is actually realized, deeply established in the heart, the more natural and spontaneous it is to actually turn to Krishna when we chant. So that's why we have to very regularly hear from advanced devotees to really deepen that realization that yes, I have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna, and this material world is just the nonsensical stage performance here, the crazy circus, but the actual reality is my relationship with Krishna. You know? And then as that knowledge is deeper established in the heart, it becomes more natural to turn to Krishna. So that's how these three belong together. Prabhupada's books, hearing, reading, sets the foundation to japa. Japa sets the foundation to kirtan. Okay, so of course there's so many more things to say, but let me see if we have any questions, any comments. Yes, Prabhu.
So, Mataji, like when you are doing kirtan, most of the time we go to the fast beat actually. So I sometimes get doubt, okay, actually is it possible to connect with Krishna when you are doing in that fast beat actually? I mean, I think it's difficult for me, but I don't know whether devotees can do it actually. is there any different mood to do that?
Well, let me share a funny little story that Yadubar Prabhu told me. Some of you may know Yadubar Prabhu. He made this beautiful film about Prabhupada. So I know him personally, so he once was telling me the story. When he was in Mayapur and he was in Prabhupada's room with Prabhupada, there was the Mayapur festival happening, and there was this passionate kirtan going on in the temple. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, and then it stopped. And then Prabhupada turned to Yadubar Prabhu and said, "Good, he has finished." That was all he said. Good, he has finished. So of course, Prabhupada was happy, at least they're chanting Hare Krishna, But yeah, pretty passionate, empty capsule, So we can see that all the more experienced, sadhus who serve the audience by leading a kirtan, they don't chant like that. They have deep and prayerful tunes, yes, where we connect, and then only gradually, the speed builds up and becomes more joyful. So the joy actually should come from connecting with Krishna, But first we have to do the internal work and actually connect. And then, we can't stay seated, we have to, express our joy by moving, dancing, and that's a whole different quality of dancing than, this passionate thing, Yes. Of course, there's also time, place, and circumstance. For example, when we go on Harinam, on Naga Kirtan outside, so if we have this deep, prayerful mood and tunes, then it looks like some funeral procession or something, So, there's different moods for different situations, Yeah. But I mean, Mangalati, for example, we have this one particular tune we should be singing, no other tune. And sometimes people lose that tune and sing something else, and at least myself, I feel all uncomfortable. This is not the Mangalati tune, what's he doing? So we should stick to that raga, to that tune. And that is a more prayerful tune for the early morning, So, and of course after Prabhupada Guru Puja or something, especially with young passionate fellows here, so alright. But then there should also be some time where we actually teach devotees and we try to give them a different experience of kirtan, Yes. And if I may advertise again the Holy Name Retreat, these evening kirtans we have there, they are of a different quality because we apply what we discussed during the day. We apply that in the evening kirtans. So we go through quite some internal work during the day, and then in the evening kirtans we apply it. We really try to helplessly call out to Krishna, and I usually pick those kirtanias who are a little experienced in serving the devotees like that it doesn't become some whole passionate thing, but a deep, prayerful, meditative kirtan. And these kirtans, completely different quality of kirtan. Yes. So that's one reason why I really like to do these Holy Name retreats. Also for my humble self, it gives me a different kirtan experience, which often in the temple, Yeah, I cannot find because it's all so passionate and so loud. Oh, especially in India. Oh, it's too loud. Sound system too loud. My God. You know, people already, the senior devotees, they're all deaf. They all have hearing aids. You know, I know so many swamis and Prabhupada disciple ladies, they can't hear anymore. They have hearing aids because of the kirtan. My God. You know? I mean, yeah, you're laughing, but I think it's very sad. You know, my body is so sensitive, all my intestines vibrating when it's so loud. Ugh, I can't tolerate it. You know, yes, it's damaging to the whole body, you know. But here in India, people have this mood, the louder the better, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, we have to, you know, cultivate and teach devotees and give them a different kirtan experience. But in order to teach and give that, we also have to be recharged and we have to have that experience, you know. Yes.
So
What
when-
else?
So when that ecstasy comes, the dance will automatically, body will reflect, I mean.
Sorry?
So when we feel that ecstasy in chanting, so naturally we start dancing.
Yeah,
So that's a graceful dance.
Yeah.
That is a graceful dance.
yeah.
So
So of course it takes some time to get there, you know. So, I mean, Prabhupada was saying, whether you feel like dancing or not, just dance, and the ecstasy will come. So, of course, in the initial stage, we just somehow want to involve people, you know? So, and that's often why we do all kinds of things just to involve people. But then as we become a little more senior and serious and purified, you know, we have to offer people something else, you know. Otherwise, how long will we be attracted to kirtan, you know? We will not get a taste and, you know, we rather keep ourselves busy with more important things, you know. What else? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvan Pranam. Actually, I would like to know how to start Krishna Bhakti. Actually, what is the best way to hear a lot and read the book first and then start japa and then go for kirtans, or we can start with all, or how can concentrate, I mean, how to connect, establish the connection with God, Krishna. And how can I keep away from the false ego? Because whatever I am doing, I always think that I am doing. And that's why we want to get back the credits and even the japa and whatever. So all activities mixed with the false ego. So
Okay.
how can I separate from?
Well, first of all, the first part of your question, how to start the process of bhakti, well, that's what we are doing here, right? In every temple, Prabhupada gave us the process. Getting up early, go to Mangaladi, chanting japa, hearing Bhagavatam, or some guitar. Then during the day we do service, and we cooperate with devotees. So there's nothing else, sorry. No shortcut. You know, you have to accept the process which we follow all over the world in every ISKCON temple. You know? And taking guidance, accepting a mentor, and you know. Yeah. And what was the second part of the false ego? Well, you know, false ego, it's a big topic. I give in Mayapur, I give the false ego seminar over 10 hours. I've got a whole book about it. So if you want to know, get the book and read it, you know. I mean, in all these books you find so much valuable, practical application, that it's not just the philosophy, but how do we live it? Especially also family life as an ashram. I mean, that really teaches you how to create this whole culture of bhakti in your home life. You know? And even if you're not married yet, you will find a lot of useful things in there. How to actually practically, you know, practice the process of bhakti. You know? So, I mean, that's why I'm writing these books, you know. Every book is a 15-hour course. So educate yourself, studying them deeply, with other devotees together. Many temples use these books as handbooks for devotee training, especially also for preachers. All you have to do is read 1-2 chapters, take a few notes, you've got all Prabhupada's quotes there, ready as your seminar. You don't have to reinvent the whole thing and put up your own seminar together. No, it's already there for you to use. Yeah. Yes.
If someone does not fulfill a devotional service, he is born again in an aristocratic family.
He is what?
If he or she cannot fulfill the devotional service in this birth, he is born again in an aristocratic family. But aristocratic family is an obstacle. So why does Krishna?
Yeah, it depends. See, if a person has practiced Krishna consciousness and doesn't make it back to Godhead in this lifetime, so then a wealthy or aristocratic family can be useful because you have the financial support, you don't have to struggle for money or something. And also you get that realization that, just wealth is not it. There must be something better in life. So it depends how we use it. If we use it with some little spiritual realization from previous life, then it may be a boon because we don't have to work much. We can just fully dedicate ourselves to Krishna consciousness. Whereas if take birth in a not so wealthy aristocratic family, then easier we get caught up in the whole struggle for existence there. But yeah, it can always be a risk that again we can get sidetracked through the wealth, So yeah, depends on what consciousness we are, Yes.
Chanting Hare Krishna must be a choice or a responsibility?
Is it a choice or a responsibility? Well, you have to make the choice whether you want to re-establish your lost and forgotten relationship with Krishna or not. And if you want to re-establish that relationship, then you have to chant, and it's the only way how to reconnect with Krishna.
And why should we realize Krishna? There may be some regions where there will be no Hinduism, or there may be no religion or no God, but still they may do good things to others, they may help others, they may do...
That will not re-establish our relationship with Krishna. We can do so many pious activities and this and that,
Krishna says 6 yogas, karma yoga. How is your karma? The same will be what we want. You heard that question, law of karma is beyond the existence of God. According to karma only, God will treat us
No, see, bhakti is not so much depending on karma. We have that minute independence to decide. Do we want to ignore Krishna and try and be happy without him? Or do we want to turn to Krishna and re-establish that loving relationship? That's the minute independence we all have. So it's not that only those can take up Krishna consciousness who have some certain karma. No.
Doing good karma itself is one of the type of practice of
No, it's still karma. So if we do pious activities, so then if we enjoy some heavenly birth or this or that, it's still karma. That will not get us necessarily to Krishna. No, you can see, as I said, in countries where the standard of life is very low, where people are poor, much easier to recognize that sense gratification is not the source of pleasure in life. actually religiosity, spirituality, that will give deep satisfaction. Much easier if you're in a suffering condition. You know, that's what I was saying. The more west you go, the more higher the standard of life is, the less devotees are there, because they're all caught up in how to become more and more wealthy and how to enjoy their wealth and, you know.
Like, you heard this story, Ramadas, Lord Ram's devotional devotee, Ramadas, you know. Like, he was kept in jail, you know.
He was what?
He was kept in jail, like, actually, he collected so many money from people and he built a big temple. It was Muslims too, like, that's why the king actually punished him. So, when I understood that when he asked God, why did you do, like, he always chants Ram. Then God says that one time, actually you you present that parrot in a cage. So because of that bad karma, you you are made to, even though you chanted my name so many times, as you should pay your own karma, that's why you were kept in jail because of that.
Anyway, see, as we accept the process of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada gives that analogy. The plug of the fan is pulled out, meaning the karma still affects us a little bit, but not with full strength. Actually, Krishna takes it away, you know? And then if we leave the process of Krishna consciousness again, then Krishna lets us have the karma back, you know? So bhakti is not primarily dependent on karma. Let's be clear on that. That's what it means, that it is transcendental, it's beyond the words of karma. And just to do pious activities simply gives us good karma. But it doesn't mean, you know, it leads us to Krishna. No, it doesn't, you know. So that's the little independence Krishna gives every living entity. You know, we can decide. And Queen Kunti says that when a person becomes materially exhausted, then the heart is prepared to receive the seed of bhakti. So materially exhausted means that we realize, God, I've had enough. What is this whole battle in material life all about? You know? But we come to this conclusion, you know, that just becoming wealthy and famous and this and that, it's not giving satisfaction. So when that material exhaustion is there in the heart, that's when we are ready to accept bhakti. But as long as we have all big plans of becoming really, you know, successful in life, PhD, professor, big house, this, that, then our focus is somewhere else. It's not on bhakti. You know, let's be clear on that. So, all right, we can still chant and do whatever we can do. So maybe some little benefit will be there for next life. But yeah, our main and foremost goal in life has to become developing bhakti for Krishna and going back to Godhead. Only then we will manage. But as long as we have big hopes for material success, economic development, our focus is somewhere else. Our main priority is not bhakti. You know? Yeah. See, for many people, to actually go back to Godhead is a process over several lifetimes. For most, actually. Even though we could all finish our business in one lifetime. But, yeah, because it's not so easy, you know. So, for many, it is a process of several lifetimes, you know. And Krishna is so kind, whatever little advancement we make in one life, he allows us to keep that, and we continue in next life. You know, that's why we see everybody is on a different level. For some people, they immediately joining, they immediately wholeheartedly take up the process sincerely, they give up all their career and this and that, and they realize that's it. You know, but others take so long for them just to come up to, you know, the standard of following the four principles and chanting 16 rounds. So everybody is on a different level because of previous activities, you know. Yeah. All right, so I think maybe we should finish here, or one last question.
Mataji, like, how shall we know whether we are turning towards Krishna or not? Like, maybe we are trying to see Krishna's hand in everything, but we are not doing it in the correct way. Maybe we are trying to satisfy our ego by telling like I am moving towards Krishna.
No, I mean, see, if we really chant attentively, we will feel that. It's like, how do you know that your hunger is satisfied? Well, you know. Nobody has to come and tell you, you know? So you can see that something is happening in your life. And there's also certain symptoms. When we chant attentively, you know, we lose attraction to sense gratification. We get a taste, we want to chant more, we feel inspired to serve, not only if we can serve according to our ideas, but in any situations, even if there's so many obstacles there, still we feel a steady desire to serve and to read Prabhupada's books and you know, and we don't want to waste time, we want to use every minute in a meaningful way in Krishna consciousness. So those are all different kinds of signs there, you know. Okay, well, I think I've talked enough about the books, right? But yeah, I mean, today may be your last chance to get books, because tomorrow I'll be all day in the temple. And then I think on Monday, maybe we will have some special program there in the hall. Tuesday, I'm not planning to do a program in the evening, because Wednesday I'm traveling the whole day. You know, and also Tuesday is ecology, so I want to have one early night before I'm traveling the whole day. I only reach my destination at 7:30 in the evening, you know. So, yeah. But Tuesday morning, if we want to have a ladies program, so we could do that Tuesday morning. But I mean, ladies program, there's only 2, 4, 6, 7 people here, you know. So, huh? Well, not sure. Anyway, Tuesday morning, if you want, we could have that, you know. So yeah, today may be your main last chance to get more books, or get books if you haven't gotten any yet. Okay, and also I was thinking for tonight, I do want to change the topic. You know, for this audience, I don't think death is such a crucial topic now. You fellows are all young and you are in this illusion that death is far away. But anyway, yeah, not the right topic, because it will be pretty much the same audience again, right? Yeah, no, I suggest we discuss envy. Envy, the main obstruction within our relationships. That is more relevant for all of you, I think, right? How envy manifests towards seniors equals to me. Okay, good. All right, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go with Premanand.